Hey everyone, welcome to Facebook Live. I'm Justin with Ohio State Legal Services Association. Dealing with the IRS can be overwhelming and stressful, especially when you get a notice from the IRS that says you may owe more in taxes. We're going to discuss today how to resolve an unreported income issue. I'm here with the low income taxpayer clinics at Southeastern Ohio Legal Services and the Legal Aid Society of Columbus. Kathy and Luke, you want to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I am Kathy Hoover, a staff attorney with the Low Income Taxpayer Clinic at the Legal Aid Society of Columbus.
Hi, everyone. My name is Luke Mienick. I'm also a staff attorney at the Low Income Taxpayer Clinic at Southeastern Ohio Legal Services.
So what is unreported income? Unreported income is income that was earned by a taxpayer in a tax year that appears not to be reported on that taxpayer's tax return.
So how does the IRS learn of unreported income? The IRS receives information from third parties, such as employers and financial institutions, including banks, lenders, or investment companies. Using an automated system, the IRS compares the information it gets from these third parties to the information reported on your return to find possible differences.
So how will the IRS let you know that you have unreported income? If there's a difference between what you reported on your return and what a third party reported about your income or withholdings, a notice called a CP 2000 will be sent to you. The CP 2000 isn't a bill, it's a proposal to adjust your income tax payments, credits, or deductions. The adjustment may mean you will owe more taxes, or it may mean you will get a refund of taxes you've already paid. Either way, you will need to respond to it within 30 days of the notice or 60 days if you live outside of the United States.
And so what is included in the CP 2000 notice? The CP 2000 notice provides the amounts that you reported on the return in question, the amounts reported to the IRS by the third party's name, identification number, the type of income document issued, whether that be a 1099, a W-2, and the tax identification number of the person who received the document. The proposed changes to your income, tax credits, and/or payments, as well as a response form, a payment voucher, and a return envelope.
So if you receive one of those notices and you agree with the changes, what should you do? So if you agree that you misreported income on your return, you can sign the response form and return it to the IRS. It may take some time for the IRS to process your form, but eventually they'll process it and send you a bill if you have any tax due, or process a refund if you have a refund due. If you owe more tax, you should make payment arrangements as soon as you can. You can even pay before you actually receive the bill. That way you can minimize the additional penalties and interest. The IRS has 10 years to collect your tax debt before it expires.
And so what if you think the IRS is wrong about the proposed changes? You can mark the disagree box on the response form and send it to the IRS along with a signed explanation about why you disagree. Include any supporting documentation you would like them to consider, like bank statements, pay stubs, letters, address verification, etc. Send these items that support your explanation to the address or fax number listed on the notice by the due date. Include your phone number with area code and the best time of day to call. This will allow the IRS to contact you directly and may shorten the time it takes to fix any issues.
But what if you need some more time to review and respond to the CP 2000 notice? Can you get additional time? So yes, you can get additional time to respond to the notice. First, you need to contact the IRS at the number on the notice and request the additional time. Normally, IRS will allow you an additional 30 to 60 days to respond.
And so what happens if you don't respond to the CP 2000 notice? The IRS will send you a notice called a statutory notice of deficiency. This is a legal notice in which the IRS has decided how much you owe. The notice gives you information about your right to challenge what the IRS says you owe in the United States Tax Court. To challenge, you need to file a petition within 90 days of the date of the notice, or 150 days if you live outside the United States.
So you responded to the notice, but you spotted some more mistakes on your return. What should you do? If you see other mistakes on your return, you may want to file what is called a Form 1040X amended U.S. individual income tax return to fix those other mistakes. You may also want to get a copy of your account transcripts. You can visit irs.gov to create an account to review your transcripts online, or you can get instructions on how to order a copy.
So the state of Ohio sent me a CP 2000 billing notice. Is that the same thing? No, a CP 2000 notice from the state of Ohio is different. Taxpayers who have not filed an amended Ohio individual tax return after fixing a CP 2000 notice with the IRS may receive a CP 2000 billing notice from the state of Ohio. The billing notice lays out the types and amounts of unreported income found by the IRS and how much more tax you owe, as well as any interest you may owe to the Ohio Department of Taxation. If your IRS notice resulted in a refund, you may want to file an amended return with the state of Ohio if you will receive an additional state refund as well, since the state of Ohio may not send a CP 2000 notice if they owe you money.
So should you respond to the CP 2000 billing notice? It's very important that you respond to these notices as quickly as you can to avoid assessment, collection, and or other additional charges. An assessment is when they bill you for your more taxes, and collection actions can be them sending you many notices up to actually garnishing your income or bank account, although garnishment is very rare. You'll want to agree, if you agree with the total amount owed, you do not need to file an amended return. You can pay online, by phone, or through the mail. You can visit tax.ohio.gov for payment details. If you disagree, you need to get what is called a tax account transcript from the IRS and send it along with a copy of your CP 2000 billing notice to the Ohio Department of Taxation's Compliance Division. You can send it electronically, by fax, or by mail, and you can request these transcripts online at irs.gov. If you do not respond to the billing notice, the state will issue an assessment and collection action that means you may pay additional interest as well as a late payment penalty, double the amount of the interest that you owe. Keep in mind that the state is quite difficult to work with if you owe them money. They do not generally accept payment plans. They may send you to a debt collector. They may charge you additional collection fees of up to 40%. And unlike the IRS that has 10 years to collect a tax debt, they have 40 years to collect any debt. If you owe money to the state of Ohio, you will likely want to pay that off as soon as you can.
So I have questions about the CP 2000 notice. Can I contact the state of Ohio? Yes, if you have questions about the CP 2000 notice, you can contact the Ohio Department of Taxation at 1-888-405-4091.
Awesome. Thanks so much to Kathy and Luke for all the helpful information. And thanks to everyone for joining us. And if you have questions that we didn't answer today, please leave a comment below and we'll answer whatever we can. You can visit our websites, columbuslegalaid.org or souls.org, that's SEOLS.org, for our in-depth videos on a variety of tax-related topics. And you can find those videos and more under the Get Help tab when you choose tax. Thanks so much, everyone. We'll see you next time.